right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Weather whiplash. Coats in the morning to around 70 during the afternoon. We're timing the brief rain chance ahead of the weekend and the changes happening over the weekend.
Taking action against a disturbing trend.
This is something that you cannot ever get used to when a child, a young adult, is killed.
The two events this weekend designed to curb youth violence in our community. Our top story, change in the curriculum. Another packed meeting in St. Charles County as a school board sets the future on teaching Black history. Within the last 2 hours, the Francis Howell School Board voted to approve all of the new curriculum for the next school year. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. The new curriculum includes restructured Black Studies courses. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski just left the meeting and joins us live. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, while the board completely approved all of the curriculum in front of them, including those 2 Black Studies courses, there was some heated discussion before that vote and even an attempt to postpone the approval. Now, this is all happening because the board disagreed with the current curriculum from the Southern Poverty Law Center, so the district restructured it. Tonight, board members Randy Cook and Jane Pushkar both brought up concerns about a few of the courses, including the Black Literature and Journalism courses. Cook was concerned that the supplementary books were not published in the curriculum, only the main textbooks were. But representatives from the district said families would be notified about everything students would be reading before the semester started and could raise concerns then if they had any. This all led to the attempt to delay voting on a select few courses, but that didn't pass. The full board immediately voted to approve all the courses. Parent and teacher Miranda Bell says now it's in the teachers' hands.
I don't think that we need the Southern Poverty Law Center teaching tolerance standards to teach Black history in a rigorous way. I think the delivery will be on the educators, the teachers themselves, to make sure that there's teeth there and that we don't stay away from things that make us uncomfortable. History does make us uncomfortable.
Bell says she's still concerned about the school board as a whole and says these recent actions send a message to her that their stories don't matter. Now, the superintendent also made a statement tonight, briefly thanking the board for approving the 2 Black Studies courses. The school board election is April 2nd. Reporting live in O'Fallon, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
We now know the name of the teen shot and killed in Pagedale. The major case squad has identified the victim as 15-year-old Lawrence Clark. He was shot yesterday afternoon in an alley between Bradford and Purdue Avenues. Investigators say they've received nearly 24 leads in the case. This homicide comes after several violent incidents involving other teens in North St. Louis County.
We have seen the victims and the assailants getting younger and younger, and it's just tragic, and it's something that we need to address. We're losing young people, too many young people. One is enough, and it's something that our office takes very seriously.
Anyone with information can call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 866-371-TIPS. Tonight, the city of Jennings is issuing a call to action.
City leaders are inviting people who are concerned about youth violence to take a stand. New tonight, Brent Solomon explains it's all part of a larger effort across the region to address a growing problem. Brent?
Mike, enough is enough. That's what local leaders and everyday people are telling me about crime in general, especially crime involving young people. Tonight, an area mayor is telling me we cannot talk about it. We can talk about it, or we can do something about it. The family of 14-year-old Justin Brooks is working on laying their beloved teen to rest. Wednesday, police arrested the teenager accused of stabbing him to death.
Most definitely hurt my heart. This is something that you cannot ever get used to.
For the first time since the incident, Jennings Mayor Gary Johnson is addressing it.
Something has to be done, and I'm not just saying words. We can keep spewing words all that we want, but we have to take action.
Take a look at this. The city's Youth Commission is inviting the public to an anti-violence rally Saturday. There will be a peace march at the scene of where Brooks lost his life, followed by a discussion on how to turn things around.
Call out everyone in the region to take a stance, to take some kind of step towards anti-violence.
Meantime, another initiative is underway in St. Louis.
Kids just need something to do. The shooting and fighting starts happening when they get bored. and that's the problem.
Party promoter Darren Sills, also known as Pita Pita, now partnering with the city to create entertainment venues just for youth.
We got police, we got security, we got live entertainment. It's completely free for the city.
And you think this makes a difference?
This make a big difference. And if it don't, we're going to keep going until it does.
We've placed details for all of the events you just heard about on KSDK.com. Make sure you click on As Seen on TV.
A Hazelwood East High School student remains in critical condition tonight, nearly 2 weeks after a disturbing after-school fight. Video of that fight has gone viral, showing a girl bashing the victim's head into the pavement. The family of 16-year-old Kaylee Gaines says she remains unconscious with brain bleeding and swelling. Tonight, the attorney for the 15-year-old girl arrested in the case is talking only to 5 on Your Side. Right now, she's charged with assault as a juvenile, but a judge could decide to try her as an adult. Greg Smith says his client was on the honor roll, taking AP courses, and a member of the orchestra. He says her character and lack of any previous behavioral issues will matter at her certification hearing.
You look at the types of rehabilitation efforts, programs, and services that are offered, right? And that's another big thing. Can we still do something for this child in the juvenile court? Or again, are they so far beyond rehabilitation that there's no place left for them than adult court?
Smith says his client remains in custody at the Juvenile Detention Center in St. Louis County. He says she and her family have been threatened, and they are praying for Kaylee and her family. He adds the facts and circumstances that led up to the fight would be inappropriate to discuss right now, while Kaylee continues to fight for her life.
Tomorrow, Pam Hup will be back at the Lincoln County Courthouse. The prosecutor plans to dismiss and refile murder charges. Hup is charged in the 2011 stabbing death of Betsy Faria. Lincoln County prosecutor Mike Wood is making the legal move after a change of venue was granted, moving the trial 4 hours away to Springfield, Missouri. Prosecutors believe Hup framed Betsy's husband, Russ Faria, with the crime. He was sent to prison and later acquitted. Hup is already in prison for the murder of Louis Gumpenberger. Investigators say she tried to frame Faria for that crime, too.
New tonight, Walgreens' decision to close more than 150 stores nationwide is hitting home.
A store in the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhood in North St. Louis is slated to shut down next month. Some customers tell 5 on Your Side's Robert Townsend that's already creating a variety of headaches.
For nearly 3 years, Chris Goff has enjoyed being able to pick up his prescriptions at his neighborhood Walgreens near North Grand and MLK Drive in North St. Louis.
I like the convenience of being able to come here quickly, you know.
But now word has spread fast that the pharmacy chain expects to close the store on April 9th.
My dad used to work in a Walgreens. It will be a headache.
That's because he says if the store leaves, it will be a painful mistake for him and his neighbors who have relied on the store for nearly 17 years.
It's very disappointing, especially for our seniors.
Many of whom the Jeff Vanderloo Neighborhood Association says are physically challenged or have limited transportation.
The next closest Walgreens is at least 3 miles to 4 miles or better away.
In a statement Walgreens sent to the Jeff Vanderloo Neighborhood Association, the company said this Northside store's closure is due, quote, to unsustainable business performance. Walgreens also said when faced with a difficult decision to close a location, several factors are taken into account, including our existing footprint of stores, dynamics of the local market, and changes in the buying habits of our patients and customers, among other things. Many customers have started transferring their prescriptions to nearby Greater Health Pharmacy.
A lot of patients are concerned about how that's going to affect their, cause a gap in their health care. So we've had a large influx of patients.
I've just gotten used to being here all the time.
Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
The Jeff Vanderloo Association has invited Walgreens executives to its next meeting on April 1st in hopes of convincing them to keep the store open. Another defeat tonight in the push for federal funding for local victims of radiation contamination. The U.S. House left the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act out of its spending bill. The measure passed the Senate last week. Tonight, Congresswoman Cori Bush voiced her frustration and disappointment on the House floor.
World War II is still killing people in my district. We were wronged by the federal government, and rather than taking responsibility to make it right, Congress couldn't spare a dime on this bipartisan issue.
In a statement, Missouri Congresswoman Ann Wagner today said, quote, "Time is of the essence, and I will continue to fight for any path forward to get this passed in the House."
Small businesses left with big debt.
All they did was take us for granted.
They provided services to nursing homes. Now they're out hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It hurts because we've had to lay off a few employees, and it definitely hits our bottom line.
Tonight, the I-Team reveals financial flaws throughout the industry, the effects on patient care, and the action Missouri leaders are now taking.
A decent amount of rain is expected early next week. When the rain begins and how much you can expect in your rain gauge.